Hello, music fans and underground enthusiasts. I can explain. You know how sometimes you do something very consistently and regimented, and then one day you don't do that thing. Just one time. Just one time you skip it. And then you go, oh, it's okay because, hey, I've been doing it and keeping up with it this long. Surely one short break won't ruin the momentum and the habit. Yeah. So I'm going to try to catch up a little bit on things that I've missed this year. Not like a recap of the last 3 months. That would be crazy. But we'll just go a little bit further back in time, like maybe a month or two, briefly cover some songs that I missed out on and discussing and documenting. And then next week, we're back to business as usual. Happy to be back. I am a little remiss that I missed documenting the first couple months of this year. I feel like I missed out on a lot of good work, or at least maybe preserving my thoughts on it. But hey, we can only go up from here. So let's get into it. We're going to kick the video off with a new viuta track, Free for Life, which is a lush and groovy, kind of golden age R&B inspired track. The grounding bass line here is plucky and drives the song forward pretty beautifully, especially as viuta's vocals begin to compound upon themselves and release into these flowing waves of airy harmonies. And the instrumental here is very calculated as well. Doesn't utilize massive and complex arrangements, but teases instrumental flares and embellishes as needed throughout the track, trading the bass grooves for the sax riffs and then the keyboard twinkles. And then, of course, the payoff at the end finally combines all of these previously introduced elements. It's one of my favorite vocal performances of the year in an absolute powerhouse of harmony and vibe. New suroki track was Stop Talking to Yourself. For such a complex and nuanced instrumental, suroki's music has a certain conversational tone to it that makes anything he touches sound familiar and inviting in its sound. There is a militant feel and dry tone to the drums that acts as a really great rhythm for the song to follow along because it contrasts these sliding synth leads and plucky guitar notes. They bounce in and out of the mix, which eventually are traded out for bright beeps and quirky vocal chops. It feels like every element of the song reacts in response to something else, which lets the song have this liquid flow to how it progresses, constantly shifting and changing while maintaining a core direction and sound that it's heading in. Suroki's vocals on this are sweet and personable, which is a reflection of the sentimentality and the conflict of the writing as well. After this, Fetch Quest and Idiot, I really fail to see how suroki has much competition at all when it comes to this sound. Skele has dropped After Everything, which has got a residential verse on it as well, and at this point it's pretty hard not to recognize how aggressively Skele has capitalized on the sound that they have been building for the past couple years at this point. Watery vocals, wide background harmonies that wash away into the deepest recesses of this mix, solemn guitar picking, and a gradually building atmosphere that swallows up the main vocals without mitigating the clarity of the pain in Skele's voice. I mean, they've got this down to a science at this point, which is an admittedly ironic point to make when you consider how emotionally driven this song is. Jagged desperation and pitiful pleading are littered throughout the lyrics of this track. Skele's always been particularly good at being vulnerable in a believable way. Residential's contribution to this track works well here as well, weaving together powerful notes and interesting imagery in the lyrics. Working together with Skele here, they make for a pretty plucky folk ballad that ends up working well for both of them. Next up, we got Nico North with Love Me. I've pretty consistently praised Nico for his bass-heavy and minimal melody cloud rap ambiances, and while this song maintains his intoxicated and tired vocal tone, it trades the reverb-heavy and obscured melodies for bright and pulsing dance synths, which pulls the song out of the depths of Nico's trademark sonic palette and into an abrasive vibrancy. It's cool dynamic, and Nico rattles off imagery heavy bars in an almost bored cadence. It's a very dreary tone, which is something that I really like hearing from him. Like I said, the chords relentlessly though pulse along with stuttered hats and super saturated snares. Although I do love the sound that Nico has cultivated up to this point and closely hugged in most of his work, I can't say that I'd be upset if he continued to pursue songs of this nature. It's fun and catchy and exciting. Why We Wish has dropped rcxd, and this song flexes an equally electric and tense sound. Why We Wish's vocals here are sharp and delivered with a quirky and kind of aggressive tone, screaming across this already pretty abrasive beat. The drums are rattly and super fast paced, the synth melodies are sharp and climb up and down the beat, and this piano sounds foreboding and kind of evil in a way. It's almost an impressively dense track. Along with the title bar, I feel like on each listen you catch a line that you didn't previously hear. They're fun and inventive and overall just creative. Incredible energy on this, and as much as I do love the cockiness of the delivery, I do feel the need to praise how much I love this beat. It's very overtly indulgent and eccentric, pretty hard not to love this one. We've got a triple threat with polearm, fats'e, and Lil Narnia on patterns, and this is not a particularly surprising observation, but these artists work well together. Shifting from polearm's vocals over erratic and fast-paced drums into a pluckier sway under more delicate vocals from fats'e makes for a cool dynamic and structure on this track, and then Narnia comes in, follows up behind fats'e to develop some high-energy vocals under a bit more processing on the mix. It's an airy and ethereal song that probably leans the most into polearm territory, but fats'e and Narnia tackle this instrumental beautifully. I really love the light plucking on it, these sliding heavy 808s, they act as a nice contrast to each other, and then vocally, everybody really shines here. You've got some really nice earnest emotion, you've got some big belted vocals, it's great and it's powerful. Gotta get a sip of the kombucha in. A sip of the booch. I'm taking a booch break. And then we have Prioritizing Change from Dex, which is a single from his new album Bystander, which has since dropped, and I recommend checking that out. But Prioritizing Change is an unbelievable powerhouse to add into Dex' discography here. I feel like it fully utilizes songwriting elements that Dex has slowly teased and injected into his work over time, almost testing the waters with them on tracks. But this intro alone, just pairing these elegant strings and the pitched buzzing vocals, makes for a fantastic introduction to this track. The hook is super dancey, bouncing 808s and shaky hats, and probably Dex' most catchy vocal melody to date. The bridge sees a return of the pitched vocals and creates a swirling atmosphere of ear candy and earnest emotion. Recency bias might be in effect here, but it's probably my favorite song from Dex, maybe ever. I mean, his vocals on this are powerful, his writing is nuanced and multifaceted, and overall the sound of the track is just obscenely polished and clean. I mean, it's bulletproof. It's very hard to find anything about this song that I feel like should have been done differently. Then we've got Vails with All For You, and Vails is a bit of a chameleon, not only adapting to the work of others that he finds himself on, but also finding his own music in an ever-shifting form, trading intention and sound and emotion with every other release. That being said, All For You feels the most Vails out of his recent work, if that makes any sense. The gentle crooning about uncertainty slowly morphing into unwavering confidence in his feelings and desire to protect all comes very naturally, emotionally, and sonically. I like the bright tones of the instrumental. Vails vocally sounds really nice here, very sweet vocals, and most people will probably enjoy this shift over to a glossy pop-punk sound for the outro. It is a sweet indie pop track with endearing lyrics and smooth vocals and a nice explosive finish for the track. Not really much more to ask for from Vails here. Jayo's going to end our list out with Pretty Fucking Weird. This track is a grimy, gross bass line that is honestly half of why I even like this track in the first place. It's distorted and textured and almost atonal at times, and I love how even as the song builds into this layered and hazy alternative rock sound, the presence that it has in the mix remains the same at all times. Jayo's vocals here fucking rock too, shifting from snarky, almost vindictive confidence to beautiful and warm harmonies that float over the chorus. It's a great instrumental, it sounds awesome, has such a cool, saturated groove to it, and a cool little synth lead closes the song out. I really love this one. And that's going to do it for this week's video. Like I said, it's kind of unfortunate that I found myself in a bit of a rut, not making the weekly videos anymore for like the first 3 months of this year, and although for a while I kind of beat myself up about it, I was like, oh man, all the music that I missed, what am I doing here? But that being said, the only place that we can go from here is up. I am committing myself to continuing to document songs on a weekly basis and capture what makes the underground so much fun. Go check out all these songs. I think they're all great and worth listening to. And also go check out their other work and songs from artists that have also come out this year. The first 3 months of 2025 has already seen some fantastic ingenuity and creativity from the underground. And even though I did not get the chance to cover it in my videos, I really just want to mention how fantastic the year has already been so far. All right, I'll see you next week. Hopefully. Bye.